to God, I thought I was going to die. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing well today. So basically today is going to be a story time, my first story time, and I'm going to tell you about the story of when I passed out when I was driving. Honestly, it was the scariest thing in my life. Now there's a bit of a background to it. I suffer with anxiety and panic attacks. I am a lot better now, but I used to be so much worse like a year, 2 years ago. But I've had like cognitive behavioural therapy and I seem to have come out the other side now. I mean, some days I still feel a little bit anxious, but nowhere near as much as I was. I mean, legit, I couldn't even leave the house. This is when it was at its worst. I couldn't leave the house. I struggled to go to the bathroom on my own because I felt scared locking the door. Any little thing, it was really scary, but in that moment I didn't know it was anxiety. I just knew I felt awful and I felt just really bad. But firstly, I'm going to tell you about how I first discovered I had anxiety. So the first time I knew I had anxiety, I'd been on a night out with my friends in London. I was living there, and the next morning I thought, oh my gosh, I have a really bad hangover. I feel awful. Like, I just felt absolutely crappy. I didn't want to leave the house. I just felt awful, like I was shaking, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is just like not a normal hangover. I thought, maybe I've been spiked. Maybe someone put something in my drink. Like, something's happened, something is not right. So anyway, I was due to go to my sister's house, my sister who lives in Chelmsford. Basically, I got ready to go, and I was saying to my other sister, I don't feel right, I'm scared to drive. I had a fear of driving. I didn't want to drive like that. Anyway, we kind of promised our sister that we were coming down, and we were like, let's make a move, let's go, we're going to be late, like, it's, yeah, we're hanging, but we didn't drink too much last night, but I thought it was a hangover. So anyway, we're on our way to my sister's house, and I'm just like sweating and literally like shaking uncontrollably and feeling awful, like having really bad thoughts. I was thinking, oh my god, I am going to die. Like, I don't know why, I just had this feeling like I was going to die or something really bad was going to happen to me. I was trying to drive, and I'm a confident driver. Like, I love drifting, I do all types of things with cars. Like, I've never been scared of driving. That's not a problem. So anyway, we get to my sister's house. I feel a bit better. Like, it's all calm, it's all chilled, and the whole time I was there, like, they noticed I was off. Like, I just wasn't, they thought I was just hanging, basically. But I kept saying, something's not right. Like, I had this horrible butterfly feeling in my stomach the whole time. Just awful, really, really awful. We leave my sister's house, and I was dreading getting back in that car. I was dreading it because it was about an hour's journey, maybe a bit longer. No longer, maybe like an hour and a half. So anyway, we're driving on the way home, and I'm like, my palms are sweating. I couldn't focus. I felt awful. Like, I seriously didn't understand what the hell was going on with me. I was convinced like someone had spiked me the night before, so there was something wrong with me. I need to go to the hospital and get it checked out. Anyway, driving home, and it just gets 10 times worse. It hits me out of the blue. I feel like, I don't know, it's like this horrible feeling inside of you. Like, you feel like all doom and gloom, like something's wrong. I had really, really bad, this is something I should probably tell you. The night before, after a night out, I had already popped to hospital on the way home because I felt really bad pins and needles in my left arm, and my heart was racing. So I thought, oh my god, I'm gonna have a heart attack. Like, something is wrong with me. Like, I generally thought something serious was going on. So going forward to the next day, again, we're back in the car on the way home, and I swear to God, all of a sudden, I just felt pins and needles and like a warmth go from my toes up to like the top of my head, and I was like, okay, this is it. Something's happening. Something is happening. As I felt that, I felt my heart start to race, and I generally felt myself like the road. I was on the A12, so that's like a fast road. So it's not like a motorway, but it's a fast road. You go like 60, 70 mile per hour on there. And I had literally was like, my sister was next to me in the car, and I said, Ashley, like, help me, call an ambulance. I'm dying, something's wrong with me, I'm having a heart attack. And I said to her, I'm passing out. I feel like I'm passing out. And as I was driving, everything was going black. Everything. Like, the road started to disappear, and it was almost like, you know, a shark and their eyes roll in the back of their head, and they're like, you know. And literally, that is what happened to me. I just felt like I couldn't see. I was sweating. I just felt like I wasn't in my body. I felt like an out-of-body experience. So as this is happening, my sister's got onto the phone to the ambulance. Speaking to her, wondering what's happening. Thank God for this. I was coming up. As my vision was going blurry, I felt it. So I pulled over to the left sharply and went up a slip road. Barely just made it and parked. And I was like I passed out for like a second. And I just, honestly, it was the weirdest thing ever. So we get to the like little parking spot on the side. It wasn't a parking spot. It was like the slip road basically. And there was like a few houses, and it was a dead end, and it was really weird. But it was safe. I felt safe there. So when we get there, I am hysterical because I know just what's just happened, but I didn't know what it was. I genuinely thought I had a stroke or a heart attack. I didn't know. There's like a few people walking dogs, like coming out of their houses to the right, and I was screaming out of the car saying, help me, I'm having a heart attack. Like, and these people looked at me like, this girl is actually on drugs. I kid you not, they didn't help me. They just literally looked at me like, of course, the ambulance have already dispatched an ambulance paramedic, and they're on their way, and they get to us, and I was saying to my sister, like, I love you, I'm gonna die, I love you, tell everyone I love you. And sometimes now I think about it and I actually laugh at myself, because I generally like can't believe I was saying those things, but I was so out of my mind in that moment. Like, I so didn't know what was going on, and I was convinced I was dying. I thought, that's it, this is it, Lord Jesus, take me. I thought, that's it, I'm dying, end of. But actually, I wasn't having a heart attack. The ambulance come, they put me up on the little monitor thing in the ambulance, and put all the like ECG things on, and heart monitor thing, and pulse and blood pressure, everything. And they were like, right, you need to breathe. Do you have a history of anxiety? I was like, no, I've never had it. Like, I never. And I will openly admit, I used to be one of these people who, if somebody said to me, oh, I can't go to work, I've got really bad anxiety, or oh, I can't do this because I've got anxiety, I'd think, man up. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, it's all in your head, everything's fine. Like, how can you feel like that? And I feel awful now for thinking those things. I feel absolutely awful because it's just not fair. And now I've been through it, I completely understand what they were going through. I completely understand. It's awful. Like, you can't do everyday kind of things, and you're not functional at all. It gets you so incredibly depressed, and you just feel like a lost soul. You feel like no one understands. It was awful. They tell me, right, you need to calm down. You're not breathing properly. You're not breathing. And I was like, I am breathing. And I wasn't breathing. So anyway, I start to calm down after a while, after I realised I'm in safe hands. And my pulse just like dropped, and I felt a lot better, and my vision was back. And I was like, what is going on? I was like, guys, I just had a heart attack, didn't I? They're like, no, you have anxiety. This is anxiety. Clearly, all your symptoms, yes, they mimic a heart attack, but they're not. It's anxiety. And as soon as they started talking about heart attack again, my pulse, like, I just saw it like shoot up. So basically, once they told me, oh, you have anxiety and this and that, they said you need to like go to your doctors and see what's going on. And I was like, okay, I will. But I was convinced it was an anxiety. Like, I was convinced. I thought, how can something psychological affect you this much? Like, I genuinely didn't believe it. It does. It really, really does. And so I went to the doctors and they were like, oh, we can do this for you, we can do that for you. I got offered pills. No, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. And for a long time, because they offered me tablets and this and that, and they had mentioned CBT before, which is the cognitive behavioural therapy, but I just never wanted to do it. I didn't think it would work. Fast forward like a year down the line, and the anxiety is still there. It's like, honestly, again, I couldn't leave the house and this and that, and it was just awful, and I was constantly having panic attacks again. Bottom line is, I ended up finally getting help, the help that I needed. I finally went to doctors and got referred and had my therapy, and they were right. I was suffering with anxiety and panic attacks, and so I had to do all these little homeworks and sort it out and this and that. It was a long process, but I feel like it really helped, and my anxiety now is nearly non-existent. I just feel like I have normal anxiety, because everyone has anxiety just at different levels, so it's normal to have anxiety. Actually, when I had the doctors, she discovered as well that I was suffering from PTSD, so it was like a double whammy, but I'll save that for another time. I'll tell you all about that another day, how I discovered and what it actually was. And when I found out it was anxiety, it was just shocking. I could not believe something so like psychological could affect you that much. So I'm so grateful I'm cured. I still have a bit of fright now for driving, just because I'm so scared about passing out again, because it was the most frightening thing I've ever suffered in my life. It's just something you have to work on. You have to keep pushing yourself to do it, otherwise you'll never get better. But so guys, that is the time I passed out when I was driving, and let me tell you, it was not nice. Anyway, on that note, I shall love you and leave you. I shall make a new video, post tomorrow. Let me know of any ideas you want me to do. Subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my Instagram. And yes, I shall speak to you all soon. Bye!